Hey guys, welcome to another video, and today morning you actually saw a video on how to install this particular ROM, that is the latest oxygenos port based on the OnePlus 6 for the POCO phone F1. Now I've been using this since yesterday. We did a live stream with this particular ROM yesterday. It performed really well, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys would want to see a full review before I actually go ahead and tell you that you should actually go ahead and install it and use it as a daily driver. So here it is. This is the full review, and tomorrow we will have a similar video for the K20 Pro, and day after tomorrow we will have a similar video. In fact, two videos each for the POCO X2 and the K20 Pro as well, because both of the other two devices also have oxygenos ports and stuff like that. But before we get into all of that, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a video. At the same time, in the description of each video, you will find a link to our Telegram community. You can go ahead and join us there as well. And if you think the hard work is worth the effort, please click on the join button and join the channel as a premium member. Now, without further ado, hello awesome people. Welcome to Smartphone Tutorials. My name is Kailash. Let's get going. Alright, so right off the bat, before we begin, let me tell you the one major fix that these guys have done. They have actually fixed offline charging. That means with this particular port, the phone will charge just fine even if it is switched off. On the earlier ports, there was some issue wherein it was not charging when the phone is switched off. So that has been fixed, if that really matters for you. Apart from that, let's quickly go to settings and let's go to about phone. Now you do see over here that the developers are Amog787, Adilamin and Vijay. They are doing a splendid job keeping the device alive. The name of the build is Covaxin and the device name reflects as OnePlus 6. Of course, even that device has a Snapdragon 845. Now moving on, let's quickly have a look at the OnePlus launcher. Now it's a very basic launcher. As always, OnePlus likes to keep things simple and speedy, so that is what most of the people like about it. You do have an app drawer, you do have the search apps feature over here. You can actually use two fingers to hide apps and stuff. To the left, you do have the Google Discover feed, which is really nice. The weather widget is here, the Google search widget is there on the home screen. So everything works as expected as far as the launcher is concerned. If you actually go to the home settings, you will find a bunch of other things which you can use. For example, the gestures of double tap to wake and sleep, swipe down to access notifications and quick settings and stuff like that. You do have the hidden space, as I mentioned over here. You can swipe with two fingers and you should be good to go to hide some applications. So neat little functionality built in there, and no need of any third-party applications and stuff like that. So the launcher is pretty good. Next up, if we talk about the notification tiles, and if you click the edit button, you do have a bunch of options. You do have Zen mode, screencast, you do have the built-in screen recorder. IndiaNet's sound tiles is there because obviously OnePlus devices have a hardware alert slider to silent the phone and all. So this is a POCO F1 which doesn't have that. So you can use this to silent and do stuff. You'll have to give the do not disturb access to this particular app. So if you go ahead and allow this over here, and then if you try to turn it to vibrate or silent, it works just like any other normal phone. You do have a built-in screen recorder wherein you don't have an option to use internal and external audio together. So that is sort of a bummer, but yeah, that's still there. It works like a charm, no problems there. Moving on, you do have screencast, which I use a lot for streaming and stuff, and mobile data, Wi-Fi calling, carrier video calling, everything is working as expected, no problems there. Auto rotation. If you talk about Zen mode, you have the new feature of Zen mode wherein you have a group Zen mode now. So you can wind down and relax and keep your phone aside while you spend some time with your friends and family. At the same time, you do have 5 different themes for Zen mode. So yes, indeed, this is updated because this is oxygenos version 10.3.7. Now moving on, let's actually have a look at the app drawer. You do have something called as games over here. Now over here, you do have the game mode, which gives you access to all the additional, advanced options like gaming tools, hide games, and answer calls via speakers directly. How do you want to see your notifications while gaming, mistouch prevention, disable automatic brightness mode, and you also have the fanatic mode, which was introduced back in the day. So the gaming mode is there, it works as expected, nothing to worry there. Now we dive into settings. Already discussed that in Wi-Fi and internet you don't have any problems, everything is working including the hotspot. Bluetooth, you do see that you have cast and Bluetooth and all the other options, nearby share, everything works as expected. Now when we move to display, you do have adaptive brightness which works like a charm. You have screen calibration, you can calibrate the screen. If you go to advanced, you can calibrate it as per your choice as well. You do have night mode, video enhancer, you can enable or disable it to improve or pop the colors. Now no always on display over here, of course, because this device does come with a LCD panel, it doesn't come with an AMOLED panel, but you do have ambient display and you do have lift up display, which also works fine. Under status bar, you do have the battery percentage and network speed indicator and stuff like that. You can hide or unhide the notch completely from the top, so that option is working fine as well. Now moving on, we actually go to customization. So all the customization features are working as expected. One thing that I'd like to share over here, if you want to set a wallpaper, don't do it from here or from the launcher application, do it from gallery, otherwise you might have proximity sensor issues. So it's better to change the wallpaper from directly the gallery and nowhere else. Now talking about the sound situation over here, it doesn't come with Dolby sound, but it does come with a built-in OnePlus equalizer, which works as expected. I mean, the direct modes don't work that great, but when you make manual changes to the equalizer, it works just fine with the earphone and stuff. So that is present. Moving on, when we go to settings, after sound options, we do have buttons and gestures. So of course, we don't have a physical alert slider, so nothing to do there. But in navigation bar and gestures, you do have the usual buttons which come at the top. You do have the Android 10 gesture style and you do have the OnePlus gesture style. You can also disable the bottom bar, which is an option which is present, and the Android 10 gestures multitasking works as expected. So that is pretty good in this particular ROM, nothing to worry there. Now moving on, you do have apps and notification, security and lock screen. You do see that I have 2 fingerprints set up. Face unlock, I have not set it up, but yes, it works as expected. So you can use face unlock if you wish to. I don't think it will detect my face from here, but yeah, face unlock works as expected and the security is not really a concern. Now double tap to wake, double tap to sleep works fine. You do have an additional options in settings which allows you to hide silent notifications, so that will declutter your notification drawer to make sure you don't have unwanted notifications there. Now moving on, if we talk about the battery life has been pretty good. After streaming yesterday, I did not actually go ahead and charge it just to see how much does it lose in terms of standby, and that has been pretty good. Apart from that, if you go to the Play Store and if you go to the Play Store settings, you will see that this device is reflecting as Play Store certified. So you should not have any problems there. Safety net is passing, which means your phone will be able to run all the banking application. But although, in DRM info, it does show that Widevine L1 certificate is present, Amazon Prime HD doesn't work in HD playback. So that is still a problem from POCO and Xiaomi's end, not from this particular ROM. And now, as I said, gaming mode and all the advanced options and features are working as expected. But if we actually go to Geekbench, I did a run this morning when the phone was on idle for quite a long time. Now, if you look at history, 516 single core and 2342 multi-core. Now that for a Snapdragon 845 is amazing when it comes to the score of Antutu and stuff. So all in all, if you ask me, I have not had any problem which will stop me from recommending this ROM to you as a daily driver. In fact, you do get a ROM that runs absolutely smooth, and compared to MIUI stock for the POCO Phone F1, this is a much better ROM. So the link for this particular group is mentioned in the description. You can go ahead and donate and support to the developers from that particular group if you wish to. And if you want to know how to install it, the link is there in the description for that video which I released this morning. All in all, this is a great ROM. It works fine. I've not had any issues. If you've had any issues, please let me know in the comment section what are the problems. Until the next one, this is Kailash signing off at Smartphone Tutorials. Keep smiling. Take care. Goodbye.